Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. We have made our way inside the mysterious structure, Brad. And maybe we found a little help.
Maybe so. In fact, everybody take 1 XP for finding a little help.
Yay.
Because last time, you all wandered into what appears to be a kind of infirmary or medical bay. And you got poor Galen to get prone on a slab there, and as he had gotten prone, a large automaton was approaching him with its many appendages and reached out to touch him. And I think that's where we left off, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Mm-hmm. I'm more than willing to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, we're just gonna see where this goes then.
I think so, man. I mean, if it fixes him up, I mean, he could.
Galen seemed to think that we should head here.
I suppose it was his idea. Yeah, I guess just get ready to grab him. I suppose if we have.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting.
So one of the automaton's appendages reaches out and reaches across Galen and grabs his left arm. It's coming at him on his right side, the side of the broken arm. It reaches out and grabs his left arm, which, as you recall, was a mechanical arm, and lifts it up and kind of manipulates it and does something with it, and sits it back down beside his body, and Galen seems to be kind of he's aware of this, and kind of lets it happen. And then the automaton grabs a hold of his wrist of his right arm and lifts it up and manipulates it, and Galen begins to moan and then yell in pain. And the automaton lowers his wrist, and his arm is sitting there beside him. Galen is continuing to moan in quite obvious pain and discomfort from having his arm manipulated like that. The automaton then brings out another appendage, extends another appendage that has a needle and thread on it, and a second appendage with a needle and thread, and a third appendage with a needle and thread, and simultaneously jabs the 3 appendages, the 3 needles, into Galen's right arm, and begins to stitch around his arm with a very thin filament. And Galen is first moaning louder, and then begins to scream in earnest, clearly in extensive distress and pain, as the automaton continues to thread these needles with thread through him, through his arm, and then through other parts of his body. So attaching the needles and thread to his chest, and then wrapping around his mechanical arm, and more threads are going across his body until the threads begin to work their way up to his shoulders, and then eventually covering his face, some of the needles penetrating his skin of his face and his head, but eventually covering over his face, and then it begins to work its way down his body until he is completely encased in this very fine, thin filament, and he appears, when you look closely at it, to be stitched actually to the rectangular prism, and he's completely encased in the thread, and the automaton disengages and goes and stands back in its place. Galen is not screaming anymore. He's sort of moaning gently. You can see that there is a red patch of blood spreading on the threads on his right arm, just above his elbow. And this blood seems to be soaking into the threads and is starting to just kind of pool a little bit there on the edge of the slab where he is laying.
So like I will walk over and have a look at the material that he's threaded in.
What are you looking for? What do you want to know about it?
I guess, yeah, what is it? What is its purpose? And is there a current running through it? Is it like, is it made of nano machines? Is it like, is it just synth? Is it just like
It is appears to be a metallic wire. So it's a super. I mean, the thread would not, would be the appropriate word for it, but it is a metallic thread. It was very kind of light and airy, not stiff like you would imagine a wire to be. It was, but it is also clearly metallic. And if you touch it, you can sense a slight current running through it.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you feeling better?
There is no response. In
Does
fact,
it?
The moaning is gone, and Galen's not making any sound at all.
From does this look like it is in fact some sort of medical procedure, or did we just, mutilate Galen?
Mummify our guide.
Yeah.
You can draw whatever conclusions you want to make from the procedure I described.
Okay.
Should we get him out of there, Osford?
I kind of think so.
Well, what if it's actually going to heal him? I don't know. Can you ask the Guardian now that he's active what he's doing?
I can try. I'll go over and talk to the automaton.
It is perfectly still and inert as it was before.
Okay. I'll try to give it some sort of command, present appendages for cleaning or replacement or something like that, and see if it responds.
It does not make any response at all.
Okay. I'll just stop and walk back over. It is non-responsive.
Well,
I'll examine Galen. I'll see if he is, how he's breathing, if his arm was set before this all happened. Is this actually keeping his arm in place?
All right. Are you going to poke at his arm, where his arm is?
Yeah.
Okay. The thread wire stuff seems to have formed a very rigid surface around him.
Like
poking it, you're not getting, it's just fully resisting you. It is not.
It's almost solid.
It is solid, yeah.
Okay. And it's in the it's also been sewn into the slab.
Yes. So you can see that it's this outer layer. The most furthest outside layer is connected to the slab itself. Yeah. All the way around him. And the blood flow may have stopped. So it maybe is, there's some blood pooling there along the edge, just above where his elbow, where you would imagine his elbow was, right? And the wire thread stuff is definitely stained red there. But the blood flow seems to have stopped. There's not more blood pooling there.
Well, the blood at least seems to have been staunched from his injury. Silica will look at everybody's faces and say, from my medical training and what I perceive on your faces, this was somewhat disturbing to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsettling would be the word I'd use.
He looks like he's going to get eaten by a spider.
I'll also tell you, Silica, that you looked at his arm and set his fracture, and you do recall that it was not a compound fracture. There was no blood flow there. He was not bleeding.
He wasn't bleeding, so the bleeding is new?
Yes.
Oh, that's not great.
Is it possible that this thing looked at his robot arm and then looked at his busted arm and said, oh, well, this guy needs a new robot arm? And this is like a complex way of like giving him another robot arm.
That is possible, and in fact makes sense to your sort of understanding of how the world works.
Yep. So yeah, Silica will basically say that it is possible that this is a way to construct a new a prosthetic appendage for him.
Oh.
It is possible that the automaton saw the appendage, assumed that was the norm, and is now through some process eliminating his flesh arm and replacing it with a mechanical arm. But I am not certain that is what's happening.
Well, that's questionable, but I guess he probably wouldn't mind. I don't know. We already put him in this thing. Maybe we should just try to get some more information while we're here and let this thing happen and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. Yes, at the very least, I am wary of interrupting the process.
That's fair.
Does it appear like some process is taking place?
It doesn't appear that anything's happening. It is. Yeah, it also seems inert. Then there is definitely the blood that was there is starting to coagulate and become tacky. Not, it is no longer liquid.
Is he still making any noise?
Nope, not a sound.
Oh, I think he's dead.
Oh, is he dead?
If you were asking me, I don't know.
I mean, I'll see if he has a pulse.
There's no way to detect a pulse because the rigid cocoon that is surrounding him. Yep.
I'll check if he's breathing.
You wouldn't know. You don't detect any kind of breathing. But then again, how would you detect any kind of breathing?
Put my hand up to where like his nose area would be.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be fully encased in a very thick layer of thread wire stuff.
Right. But it's not so complete that we can't see blood through it.
Right. But it is very complete.
Okay.
It is super duper complete and stiff and rigid.
I think we should open it up. If he can't breathe, that's not good.
Well, I do not have flesh and organs like you, so I will.
Maybe they're turning him into maybe that's how you guys came about, is that you were people originally, and then you got turned into this, and that's what they're going to do with Galen.
That seems unlikely.
Osford, why don't you cut open the mouth area, the face area, so we can see him and see if he's breathing and stuff.
Hey,
I'm not sure I like this.
I'll kind of try to cut around the head and pull it back,
like where the threads are attached to the surface, or where? Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay. Around the head where it's attached to the surface, so I'm not hopefully cutting into Galen.
All right, so you what are you using to cut?
A knife,
like a ceramic blade or a metal blade, or what have you got?
Yeah, let's see. I've got to have something in one of these kits.
I mean, I'm just asking you to describe a knife. We'll assume you've got a knife. What kind of knife is it?
Yeah, sure. A metal knife.
Okay. All right.
Or maybe a chisel.
What do you want? A metal knife or a chisel?
A chisel.
A chisel? A chisel's kind of bouncing off. Yeah, you're pretty sure a knife would be more effective here.
Okay, then I'll use a metal knife.
All right. So you can start sawing at the threads. The threads are, pretty deep. So you're going to have to cut through, maybe a dozen or so layers of thread just to kind of say, okay, I've got the tip of my knife underneath this layer of thread. To get, or I mean, just guessing, to get around his head, just to get enough peeled off so you could peel it down to his neck, say, you're thinking this might take maybe 25 30 minutes, something like that, just of continuous sawing away with this knife you have.
Well, if that's true, he's going to be dead by then if he's actually suffocating.
Guess we'll find out. I'll grab a knife from somebody and also assist. Maybe I can help fry stuff up.
Just take our time and look around while we aren't getting attacked by things and see if I can keep to the mission.
Okay, so while these two are sawing away with their little knives, you're going to take. So now you can get this done in about maybe 15 or so minutes, right? The two people working it'll cut it in half. So is Mariz going to kind of go wandering around for 15 minutes or so? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get the lay of the land a little bit better.
Okay. So there is just the one path in and out of this room. And it's off of a hallway. So as you walk outside this room, you're into a hallway. The blue light along the floor is gone. It is just kind of got that weird kind of light ambient glow in the hallway. Nothing really particularly vibrant. It was pretty vibrant as you were walking around and walking through rooms and things, but the hallway just has kind of a pleasantly warm ambient glow to it. It extends about 10 yards in either direction, where it joins up with like a T intersection with other hallways. So you can go either left or right as you see fit.
I will go right.
All right. So you go down the hallway for about 3 or 4 minutes.
I'll make a little mark with the chalk so I can a piece of chalk for my pack so that I know which way I went, and that other people, if I get lost and something happens to me, know where I went to.
Okay. The other hallway is this the way you came in, or is this going? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you come in this way down this hallway, or is this new territory for you?
I'm gonna try going into new territory.
Okay. All right. So there are what appear to be several rooms. No doors. You didn't encounter any doors at all in your walk through here. So it's just sort of passages. You went through a few rooms, but then the hallways with other rooms that are darkened off to the side there. As you're walking down this hallway, maybe approaching one of these doorways, you hear the sound of something like kind of skittering down the hallway ahead of you. It's just like a tapping, sliding kind of sound. Small, not something big, but something is down there moving around and approaching you, actually.
I'll try to hide in the shadows as much as possible to try to figure out what this thing is.
So there are no shadows. I mean, there's this weird ambient light and a long straight hallway, and something does about this, maybe as tall as your knee, and maybe as wide and long as your foot, does come out of one of the doorways down at the other, like sort of further down the hall. It is coming towards you. It's from this distance, it appears to maybe be something mechanical with a bunch of legs.
Well, I will pull out my bow ready to fight it if necessary, but hope that it is I'll pull up I'll actually first pull out my sigil and hold it up and see if that helps.
The thing seems to be approaching you still.
Okay, then I'll pull out.
It's not coming very fast at all. This would be kind of a slow walk. So you've probably got maybe 90, 120 seconds before it's going to come up on you. It's coming along pretty slowly.
I will back out of its route and just kind of see if it's trying to follow me or if it's just going about its business.
Okay, you're going back into the hallway you came from?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you step back into that hallway, and about a minute and a half later, the thing is moving down the hallway, and it goes right on past. It looks kind of like I don't know, if you imagined maybe a boot turned upside down, and then out of that boot, like it is and the boot appears to be made of like kind of a silvery and green synth. And then out of the bottom of the boot are a bunch of legs and a couple of large pinchery claw things. And the thing just kind of moves on down the hallway past you.
I will try, like, if it's just going about its business, I'll try following it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's walking way too slowly, right? It's that annoying, like you've got to, you take a couple steps and you've kind of got to pause to not catch up to it. So it goes the other way down the hallway, back the way you all came from initially, and turns the corner and is going down the other hallway that you didn't choose to go down. Do you want to keep following it for a while here?
Yeah. Okay.
It goes into a room, and if you want to follow it into the room, you can.
I do.
Okay. When it went into the room, there was no particular reaction, but when you step into the room lights come up, and you're in a space that appears to have a lot of plant life in it, like a lot of plant life, so that it's coming up out of the floor. It is like the walls are covered in vines, and it's also it has kind of a potent earthy smell in this space. You've kind of lost track of the little thing. It's somewhere in among these plants.
Huh. Well, I will head back to the group at this point.
Okay. All right. I think the guys are probably close to getting that stitching unsewed. How are you guys doing there?
Oh, we got it off. It's pulled away from his head.
Okay. Well, when you pull it down, Galen takes a big gasp. And he's suddenly in distress, though he wasn't a moment before. His eyes are wide and bloodshot. He's not screaming, but he appears to be just having difficulty catching his breath, and he is trying to catch his breath, and it's almost like somebody who is woken up from a nightmare and is in a panic over the nightmare.
Is any of the material attached to his body or like attached to his skin?
It was attached to his skin, but not deeply. So when you peeled it back, like it didn't tear big gouges in him, but you can see that there are places where the very thin filament of the thread was through his skin, and you didn't break the filament, but you broke his skin pulling it up. So, but not.
So he's got some like slashes from where.
Were off. Yeah, but very superficial, very shallow.
Okay. Has the automaton moved while they were doing that?
No, it is not. It is completely inert.
Okay. Silica will walk over and help to peel off the rest of it off of him.
Okay. Is anybody saying anything to him? Because he's clearly...
You're doing okay, Galen? Galen, are you okay?
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
Do you want to be taken out or put back in?
Put back in what? It hurts so bad.
My sewing thing.
My arm is on fire. It is...
Maybe it's working.
It is so painful. You need to help me. You need to help me.
Yeah, Silica looks at him.
Why aren't you helping me?
Do you have emotional attachment to that arm?
Silica, help me. Silica.
Yeah, I'll get you out.
Help me.
Right, I guess we'll continue to try to get him out of there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You out of there.
We're going to peel this off of you.
It's burning. It's burning. My arm is burning.
I'll start the peeling off with the arm area and see if I can get a look at what's going on under there.
Okay. As you peel it up and there's this blood there caked, as you peel it up, you see that his flesh arm is laying there on the slab, cut off slightly above the elbow.
Mm.
And there is sort of a very rudimentary, like sort of the most basic form of a metal prosthesis there. Though he does appear to be, as you're getting things disconnected, the arm is starting to flail about. It's making it really difficult for you to disconnect to cut, because he keeps moving this arm. First it's just twitching, and now it's sort of violently lashing around within the cocoon, and also his flesh arm is there with it, and also kind of bouncing around and jostling around and splattering blood on you.
I will say, Galen, stop moving.
I am not moving. And the arm continues to flail around.
Your non-prosthetic arm was severed off and replaced with a new prosthetic. It seems like the process was either not completed or it was not done properly.
What is happening? Why does my arm burn?
I think we interrupted the process. Sorry.
What was the process? That my arm? I have a prosthetic arm.
Yeah, you have two.
I have two prosthetic arms. And at this point, the arm comes loose, fully loose from the cocoon structure. And he begins to sort of wave it around in front of his face. And he can see it, and you can see sort of a recognition in his eyes as he is connecting the movement of the arm with his own impulses, and the arm begins to slow and then gradually sort of get a stability, and he lays it beside him there on the slab.
Okay. I will check the interface between the arm and his shoulder, or basically, whatever was left.
Yeah. So the interface seems sound, like it's not. There's no blood or
right.
A weird tissue damage. Like it is exactly as you would expect to see the.
It's exactly as I would have done it.
Yeah, there's a fully, like a metal casing that is enclosing the area of his flesh there. So it's not like.
So one thing that I didn't ask or didn't catch is this medical stitching automaton also also similar to Silica's model, or is it like very different?
No, it's very different.
Okay.
Very, very completely different. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a fully sort of synth steel kind of thing.
Right.
So it doesn't have. Yeah, you've got this kind of clay-like structure.
Right.
As did the Guardian.
The Guardians.
Yeah. So this is not made of the stitching thing was not made of that at all.
I see. Okay.
So Galen seems to be coming back around. Do you want to continue to slice this this material off of him, or what do you?
Yeah, if it seems like he has gained control of the arm and it seems to be a sound connection, then yeah, Silica will try to continue to get him out of it.
Okay. It is a sound connection. The arm is not as sophisticated as his other one. In fact, it only has like 3 digits and a thumb. Like one of the digits just seems to be not formed, right? Not that not like the hand is a hand size, but it's just like one of the fingers isn't there. And then it does look like like the mechanisms are not encased properly. Like you can see bits of mechanism, and there are crystals in it that you can see are glowing and flashing on and off, which is just kind of weird. Like you shouldn't be able to see this deep into a prosthetic device like this. It does not look right. It's definitely not the way you'd want it to be, but it appears that he's gained control of it.
Okay. Yes, it does appear that we interrupted the process.
Sorry.
It is all right. well, I suppose it is for Galen to decide whether it is all right. Galen, the process for building your arm was interrupted because we did not know whether you were in danger or not. However, when we return to drive, I can spend some time fixing this arm and making sure that it works as well as it can.
He looks at you with that, the way a person opens their eyes way too wide so you can see the sclera all the way around their iris, right? And he just says, just make it stop burning. Please make it stop burning.
Please. I'll look at it. I'll see if there's a clear, or I'll see if there's a like, basically if it's burning, I'll ask him, is it a steady burn or does it come in waves?
It is constant. It is burning.
Okay. I will look into the prosthetic, the parts that are not finished, and see if there is basically something that is glowing or twitching or moving that matches the way that the muscles in his shoulder are responding to the pain.
Oh, no, it doesn't. There doesn't seem to be any kind of correspondence. I mean, things are glowing and flashing and, and moving in there, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be if you're looking like this seems to be the source of the problem.
Right,
There's no such thing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if there's a way to shut it down.
You
just
don't
turn it off.
You can make a check to do that because you've got some a surgical skill, right?
Yeah, I'm trained in healing, surgical procedures, and withstanding pain.
Okay.
Also, understanding Numenera.
Okay, so we will say the heroic task. Your training can knock that in the understanding Numenera and in the healing thing will knock that down 2 levels to intimidating. So your target would be an 18.
18.
An intellectual.
Well, I might just try that because I'm pretty much out of intellect points.
Okay. So you have 2. You could spend your last 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Isn't that gonna impair me?
It will then impair you. So I guess it would be pointless to spend the last 2 on effort when that does, then spending it on effort.
Then immediately get impaired.
Never mind. Yeah.
Okay, so what am I rolling against?
Your roll is an 18. Your target is an 18.
Okay. That, and you said that was intimidating. Is that what I'm looking at?
It's heroic down to intimidating.
Okay. Nope.
All right. You rolled a 3. Yeah, that wouldn't have got you very far at all. All right. So you don't see any kind of way to disengage it or to turn it off.
Okay. I will try to basically
spend your life.
Then Vulcan nerve pinch him. Okay. I'll try to knock him out in some sort of way that's not going to cause any permanent harm.
Okay. All right. Well, this would be something you probably know how to do. You've done this before, or you're just making something up?
I'm going to say that I've probably done this before because, little fleshy guys are always hurting themselves.
I'll tell you what I'll let you do. I'll let you spend an XP for a player intrusion that says that you've done this a lot if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, down to 1 XP.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, Silica's been around Drive for a while, and people get injured, and he doesn't always have access to actual anesthetics or whatever. So he's definitely had to get people drunk before to operate, and he's definitely had to just knock people out to operate before.
Yeah, we'll call this a difficult task. So your target is 12.
Okay. Let's see if I can roll for.
I mean, and if you'd rather say no, I'm not going to do the intrusion. I'm not going to spend the XP for that.
I'll try it. What would you say it was difficult?
12. Yep. Difficult for 12.
All right. Let's try that. Also, no.
Yep. You cannot Vulcan nerve pinch him.
Okay.
He just seems to be suffering this intense pain.
I will look at the others and say, well, I am out of resources. I suppose we could try to reinitiate everything, since now we know that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, but
seems
I'm
like our
kind
only
of creeped out.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So we got to get him out and then maybe lay him back down on a different slab and see if we can reset.
Okay, as you're pulling him out of the rest of the cocoon, the threads are tearing out of his skin, on his legs and or on his one leg, his left metal leg. It's not really causing a problem, but down his torso and his leg is just getting those very small superficial cuts all over, and as are his clothes being torn. So you get him out of that, and he's kind of wandering around, clearly in pain.
Yep. All right. Let's lay him down in this one.
Okay, so you get him to lay down there.
Mm-hmm.
The automaton comes back to life. It slides over to him. Now it's on his left side. It lifts and manipulates his right arm. It lifts and manipulates his left arm. Goes back and lifts and manipulates his right arm again. Wiggles it around. None of this seems to cause Galen any particular pain besides what he's already suffering from, right? It's just, and the machine lays his arms at his side and begins the stitching process again.
Right.
Galen seems to sort of panic at this. What is it doing? What is it doing?
Like Silica will just basically put his hand on Galen's chest.
This hurts. This hurts.
Yes, I understand that. You have to withstand this pain, otherwise the burning will not stop.
The stitcher got your finger, by the way. So one of your fingers, your middle finger of your hand is stitched into alongside Galen there.
Okay. Silica has kind of this metal backpack type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it will open and a metal arm with a scalpel type thing comes out and just slices Silica's finger off, and Silica pulls his hand free.
Okay.
And then holds up his hand and a different one comes out and starts stitching a new finger, basically 3D printing him a new finger.
Very good. Galen's still having a bit of a panic, but he is laying still, and the machine is now sort of getting up close to his face. He seems to be growing calmer and is not panicked, although is still conscious as the machine begins to stitch across his face and up to the top of his head. And then it goes back down toward his feet and has reestablished the cocoon around him.
Hey guys, I found a garden.
Yeah, we found something horrifying.
We hurt Galen. Well, they hurt Galen.
Well, that's upsetting.
He'll be fine.
Why'd you do that?
Well, it turns out the machine was, in fact, attempting to grow him a new prosthetic arm. It removed his arm in the process, which... yes, I believe was unnecessary, but now we essentially interrupted the process, which means he was in a lot of pain. His nerves were probably not properly connected, or whatever hub this thing uses for motor reception was probably firing without needing to, causing him pain.
Well, that's really weird. Want to go see the garden?
Yes, I suppose.
Sure. This day isn't already weird enough.
There's a little robot that tends to it, but it didn't seem hostile.
Are you all leaving the room, or what's?
I got a question. How long was it until we pulled him out from the beginning of the process to pulling him out?
Let's see. So it took about 15 minutes to cut it, and maybe about 20 minutes.
Okay. So Silica will estimate, given how far along the hand was, to see about how long it's going to take for the process to be complete.
Okay. Do you want to roll that for an estimate, or you just want to make an estimate?
I can roll it because I, Rodrigo, the person playing Silica, am terrible at estimating time. So,
all right, we will call that an intimidating roll. So an 18 or better to do this. You have the training which would knock that down to a 15 or better.
Okay. 4 it looks like. So Silica has no idea how long this is going to take.
Yeah, it's going to take a few minutes longer at least, right? Yeah.
And we'll say, I have no idea how long this is going to take.
Okay, I guess we'll just come back and check.
Yeah, it's my opinion too.
Very well.
So yeah, let's follow Mariz to the garden.
Okay, so this room is pretty big. This is another circular room. So down the hallway, make a turn. You all heard how you get there. So it's a large circular room, brightly lit, a very earthy smell to it. You can smell the soil here, and all kinds of plants. There are sort of pathways or rows between the plants, so you can walk among them. But they are also growing out of sort of large earthen mounds that have either been placed or erupted out of the floor. It's not really clear. Also, the walls are some vines are coming from the walls and hanging down to the floor. Some of the plants are flowering. Some have fruit.
Do we recognize any of these fruits or anything?
Yeah, you recognize some shoot berries. You recognize something. It's not the right color, but it looks like a Philly fruit. It's just not the right color of purple. Maybe several other fruits you could recognize, and some of the flowers seem familiar. Also, though, some of this stuff is stuff you've never really seen before that looks very exotic. A red flower that is, 5 petals around a green center structure, that kind of thing.
Pretty, huh?
Yeah.
While you're milling about, Osford notices the weird upside down boot thing. It kind of scuttles across from one mound of earth across the pathway where he is standing and over to another mound of earth and disappears among the leaves there.
Is that the tinder you were talking about?
Yep. It doesn't seem aggressive.
It's good. Well, I don't know. You think any of this stuff is edible?
I'm going to keep my hands off everything.
Yeah, it seems like the right call. That might not be aggressive, but I don't want to tempt it. Unless you can talk to it, Silica?
Can attempt to.
Another creature, sort of like the other one. I mean, it has little legs and pinchers coming out the bottom of it, but this isn't like an upside down boot. It seems to be coming out of a maybe just a spherical shape with a protrusion, like a long protrusion coming out the left side. So imagine like a big ball with a purple stick coming out of it. And then on the bottom, there are these little mass of legs and a couple of big pinchers. And it walks into the room.
Yeah.
Is this also some sort of automaton?
It
or is this a critter?
It is metallic and synth. But as you look at the feet and the little pinchers, it seems to be organic. In fact, if you're looking closely at it, you can see two appendages that appear to be eye stalks between the two large pinchers.
Like a little hermit abomination.
Yeah, it's very much like a little hermit abomination.
How big did you say this thing was?
So the sphere is like about the size of like a soccer ball, basically.
So it's like a sphere, and then like a stick going down.
Yeah, a stick
poking out of the bottom of the stick are like pincers and legs, and
poking out of the bottom of the sphere. Sorry, the stick is just poking off to the side, like it's just weirdly asymmetrical stick coming out of this thing.
Yeah, so this is like something that it found.
Yeah,
that it's like that it just fit well enough, and now it's his little house.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it could be dangerous, but let's just let it go wherever it wants to for now.
This one seems very intent on staying close to you. It's coming right up to your feet and is not pinching your feet, but maybe stroking your feet with its pinchers.
To me specifically?
Yes, to you specifically.
Okay. I will kneel down to look at it better.
Okay. If you put your hands within reach of its pinchers, it begins to stroke your hands also.
Okay.
It likes you.
For some reason, maybe it wants to smell like me.
Is it alive?
Yes, this is a biological creature. I believe it is using this assembly as its protection and home as a sort of shell.
Oh.
Maybe it can be Alam's new friend.
The other one,
the
boot one comes out and so behind Silica and is also reaching out to your ankles, to your feet, and is touching you with its pinchers.
The boot one organic?
So yeah, it seems to be the same
same critter.
Just inside a different object, a different kind of object. Yeah.
Maybe it wants to become part of you.
Well, I would be all okay with that, but it may be detrimental to their biological portions.
Well, we can keep exploring, see if we can find some more answers.
Yes. Silica will just move away from them.
Okay. They're definitely want to follow you.
Okay. Well, that seems okay. If they're not hostile or anything.
They also move rather slowly. So, if you just sort of
so do I. So if I can outpace them, then they move very, very slowly.
Yeah, you can just at your normal walking speed, you probably move faster than they do. Unless they decide to really run and sprint after you in their kind of little weird way.
Yeah, so as we walk over, Silica will say, I should be able to print a nutrient tank, but again, I do not think that would be helpful for them. They would essentially be trapped in there, and I do not think that's what they want.
Who knows?
Yes, all of this is very strange. As Galen was fond of saying, the Numenera are mysterious. Numenera is mysterious?
Yes, both.
Yes.
We're spiders in someone else's web.
Yes.
Speaking of that, did anybody make a map of how you got here or anything like that? Was anybody paying very close attention to the blue line as it led you here?
I was marking with chalk.
Okay.
But mostly that was because I didn't want to, be totally lost in here. And then people will be like, where did Mariz go? Oh, now she's under some other cocoon.
Yeah.
Horrible.
All right. We'll say that were your chalk marks on the floor or the walls?
On the walls.
Okay. All right. So you can see your chalk marks very clearly, and you can see which direction you were traveling as you came in here along the blue line. So what would you all like to do?
Just go back in the direction that I didn't go before?
If we go back out of the garden, does that get us back closer to the infirmary?
Yeah, so there's just the one entry to this space, and that leads you out into a hallway that is just one turn away from the hallway where the infirmary is.
Okay.
You're not very far away from it.
Should we check on Galen before we keep moving?
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't pull him out again.
Seems like the right.
It didn't go
call.
well.
We will not pull him out. Silica will walk over and check.
Okay.
If he's still in the cocoon.
Yeah, the cocoon seems solid like it was before, or like the other one was, I should say. And he seems firmly ensconced in it.
Okay.
After a little bit, the two little
critters come into this room.
Yeah, they enter the room. Yeah.
Okay. I'll walk back out.
Okay. They turn and follow you, of course.
If we go by the front door, I might just put him in front of the guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Because that guy's not moving, so maybe they'll want to be his friends. Although if they leave the thing and then try to come back in, he might kill them. So maybe I won't do that. Or I'll put the sigil on their shoe and soccer ball, just in case.
All right. Well, you can do any of those things you want to do.
Yeah, I'll do that. I will.
You want to walk back to the entryway?
Yeah, I'll first. I will reproduce or at least ask Annam to paint the sigil on them.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then I will basically guide them to the entrance and kind of push them towards the other one and see if they respond to him in the same way.
Okay, there are actually now two guards at the entrance.
Oh, good to know.
And they're sort of, so it's not one guy blocking the entrance, but two standing at either side. And you can see, you know what I mean? They're visibly there as you approach the entrance. You can see
well, then I won't do that because I only reprogrammed one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I will bail on that and just let them follow me back into the structure.
Okay. All right. Well, you're there in the structure, and you can do any of a number of things you want to do. You just have to think of them.
Do we know? Well, I'll say as a group, we came looking for the bolt in the sky. Do we know which direction that's at? So
you would imagine it to be kind of in the center of this structure, right? That is, the way the door lined up. So you were following from the north, and the way everything kind of lines up as you're looking at the door, and you can see the bolt coming out. It wasn't like over there. It was wherever it was as you're directly facing the structure. It is right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So, So anywhere along that curved wall, it's right in front of you, and therefore it must be around in the center, somewhat at least.
We should head that direction.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are four exits from this room. The one you came in, the one that leads to the outdoors, and then these three others. The pathway to the infirmary was the pathway to the right. It took you maybe 45 minutes or an hour to get there, and 45 minutes or an hour to get back. If you want to head, out toward the middle area, that's fine. But that sort of points you toward the center of the structure. But you don't get very far at all before there is a T intersection, and you have to head either left or right. Do you want to just kind of figure out which way the center is and wander around until, like just sort of your goal in a blind maze is kind of toward the center.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Let me look here. Also, will kind of look down both paths, put his ear to the ground, tap on the ground a couple times in different parts. Maybe run his finger along the ground, taste it, spit it out. So I have this ability, find the way. When you apply effort to a navigation task because you don't know the way, are lost, are attempting to blaze a new route, need to choose between two or more otherwise similar paths to take, or something very similar, I can apply a free level of effort.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Pretty
So
cool.
at this intersection, at this T intersection, you are confident that either way,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like
They're equidistant.
Yeah, there's not there's not some magical, one of them is some degrees more toward the center than the other. This appears to be perpendicular to the direction you need to be going, right?
Oh, I see.
So, we could, I'll tell you what, let's do this. There's this T intersection, arbitrarily picking one or the other, you eventually come to another intersection. One of those ways is clearly more toward the center, right? And we can, I don't need to make you make rolls over and over again, maybe secretly, and figure out where you're going or where you're not going. Let's say after about 15 minutes, you do come to a path where you're not really sure, and maybe this direction makes more sense, or maybe this other direction makes more sense. And this might be an occasion where you would want to use this special skill. And we could try this we could call this a difficult decision to make, right? That would be a level 4, target is 12.
Okay.
Your skill allows you to apply effort with no
expenditure.
Cost. Yeah. So you could get it down to a 9 to see if you're going to go the right way or not, I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think what it is basically, if I do one level of effort, I basically get one for free. So when you apply effort to a navigation task, because all those, you apply a free level of effort.
Okay, when you apply effort, you apply a free level of effort. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll say you get to apply 2 levels of effort there. Okay. Even though you're not cleared, you're not cleared for 2 levels of effort, but we can say that it gives you a free level of effort. I mean, I would read that to say that though you're not cleared for 2 levels of effort, you get a free level of effort. So it brings it down 2 steps instead of 1. All right. That's
because otherwise, why would they give it to him at level 1?
Right. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense otherwise. Yeah. All right. So it was a difficult thing. It's now going to be kind of a standard task. So your target number is 6.
Okay. I will try that.
All right.
Roll a 13.
Well done. All right. After about 15 or 20 minutes more of walking, and I'm assuming, Mariz, that you're diligently marking the pathway with chalk. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. You're coming to another sort of weird, difficult decision, and same parameters. So you applied the effort before, is that correct? So you spent 1, and then you got 1 for free. So, and you've got an edge of 2 in effort. So you went down 2 intellect points. Do you want to apply the effort again? Again, you're looking at another difficult decision to make. So it's level 4. Your target is 12.
Yeah, I'll spend another 2 intellect.
Okay. Roll it.
All right. Get that. And boop.
Oh, very good. All right.
Yeah, 17.
There we go.
Well done. All right. After about another 15 or 20 minutes of walking, you open out, you see ahead of you sunlight. So you seem to be coming to an open space here. And in the sunlight, you can see that there's kind of ahead of you in the space, in the sunlight, there are steps that appear to be going up. Well, they don't appear to be going up. There's a set of stairs that go upward.
All right. I think we might be getting close, guys. Brace yourself.
All right. We'll do that next week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Oh, man. I have some Wes Craven and some... what's his name? Some Cronenberg. Yeah, man. I'm having those kind of flashbacks this week, Brad. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
And for everyone else who are going to have nightmares for weeks, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2022 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.